In the heart of ancient China, hidden within the swirling mists of time, lies a quiet village where a most peculiar legend first began to unfold. This is a story of three old monks who wandered the land, carrying no scriptures and preaching no sermons. Yet they changed every life they touched. They were known simply as the Three Laughing Monks. They did nothing but stand in the center of town and laugh from the depths of their souls. Their laughter was infectious, a thunderous sound that echoed through the narrow streets, pulling people away from their daily chores and heavy worries. The townspeople would stare in wonder, for these monks never spoke. Their laughter was their only prayer, their only teaching, and their only ultimate truth. One by one, the burdens of the villagers seemed to melt away. The frowns of the weary were replaced by the bright light of genuine happiness. To them, life was not a series of problems to be solved, but a grand joke to be shared, a celebration of the present moment. The eldest monk led the way, his eyes twinkling like stars. He possessed a profound understanding of the universe that transcended the need for any words. In their presence, the village was transformed. The air itself felt lighter, as if the very atoms were vibrating with the frequency of pure, unadulterated delight. But as the years passed, the elder monk knew that his time on this earthly plane was drawing to a quiet and inevitable close. He was about to engage in one final act of mischief, a secret wager with death itself that would leave a lasting mark on history. In the stillness of the night, the monk sat alone, his silhouette cast against the paper walls. He did not fear the coming darkness. To him, death was not a terrifying reaper, but a silent observer, a transition point in the magnificent dance of existence and universal energy. He viewed his departure as the ultimate punchline. He spent his final hours preparing a surprise that would challenge everyone's perception of loss and grief. With a steady hand, he began to write his final will and testament upon a scroll of aged parchment, lit by the golden candle flame. His instructions were strange and went against all traditions. He forbade the usual washing of the body or the changing of his old, worn clothes. He insisted that he be cremated immediately in the same garments he wore every day, carrying a secret hidden deep within his oversized silken robes. He smiled at the stars, knowing that his life was a small spark in the cosmic fire, and he intended to go out with a bang. The philosophy of the monks was simple. We take ourselves too seriously. We build monuments to our egos while forgetting to simply enjoy being alive. He was teaching them that even in the face of the unknown, one could maintain a heart full of light and a spirit of playfulness. As the moon reached its peak, the elder monk took his final breath, passing away as quietly as a falling leaf in the autumn wind. The news spread through the village like a soft ripple on a pond. The great master of laughter had finally entered the great silence. The morning of the funeral arrived with a heavy, somber atmosphere. A thick blanket of grey clouds hung low over the mountain peaks. So the two remaining monks stood by their friend. They did not cry, nor did they laugh. They simply observed the empty shell with deep respect. Villagers came from miles around, dressed in traditional white. The silence was heavy, broken only by the sound of muffled footsteps and soft weeping. They remembered his laughter and felt a profound void. How could they ever find that joy again, now that the source had vanished? The traditional funeral rites began, but there was a palpable sense of confusion regarding the master's final, strange requests about his burial. Following his will, they did not bathe him or dress him in ceremonial silk. They placed him on the pyre in his everyday clothes. The air was thick with the scent of sandalwood and the weight of tradition. Many felt the ceremony was far too simple for such a man. The rhythm of the wooden block marked the passing seconds. Each strike seemed to emphasize the finality of death and the sorrow of parting. Even the birds seemed to have stopped singing. The world felt grey and drained of the vibrant color that the monks had once provided. The time had come to ignite the pyre. The youngest disciple stepped forward, his hand trembling slightly as he held the flaming torch. As the fire touched the wood, a small plume of smoke rose toward the heavens, carrying with it the final chapter of a legendary life. The flames grew larger, dancing with a fierce intensity. The villagers watched with tear-filled eyes, saying their silent final goodbyes to their teacher. But then something extraordinary happened. A sharp, whistling sound broke through the crackling of the logs, startling the entire assembly of mourners. Suddenly a bright streak of red light shot out from the monks' robes, exploding into a brilliant star in the grey morning sky. Boom! Bang! The pyre became a launch pad for a spectacular firework display. The monk had hidden dozens of fireworks inside his clothes before he died. The somber funeral was instantly transformed into a riot of color and light. The sky was painted with shimmering patterns of joy and wonder. People gasped and fell back in surprise. They had expected ashes and sorrow, but instead they were gifted with a magnificent celebration of light. The elder monk had played his final joke. He had turned his own death into a festival, mocking the very idea of a mournful ending. The other two monks began to laugh harder than ever before. "You old rascal," they seemed to say, "you have beaten us once again." Slowly, the laughter began to spread through the crowd. The irony of the situation was too beautiful and too powerful to be ignored. They realized that their teacher was still with them, his spirit echoing in every explosion and every spark that cascaded down from the heavens. It was a masterclass in liberation. He showed them that even the most frightening moment of life could be met with a playful heart. As the final firework faded, a peaceful silence returned, but it was no longer heavy with grief. It was full of light and understanding. The lesson was clear. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. And life, above all else, is meant to be enjoyed. The memory of the firework monk would live on forever, a reminder that the greatest wisdom often comes wrapped in a loud, joyful laugh. He had won his bet with death. He had exited the stage with a smile, leaving behind a legacy of light instead of a shadow of pain. We often treat our lives like a burden, carrying our worries and fears like heavy stones that drag us down into the dark earth. But what if we could see the comedy in our struggles? What if we could recognize that most of our problems are self-created illusions? The monk's fireworks were a symbol of the soul's liberation from the ego. When the shell is gone, only the brilliant light remains. True spirituality is not found in somber faces or rigid rules, but in the ability to remain light-hearted amidst the chaos of the world. Like the lotus blooming from the mud, joy can emerge from the darkest moments if we have the courage to choose it over despair. Optimism is not about denying the existence of pain. It is about choosing to face that pain with a spirit that cannot be broken. When you stop fearing the end, you finally begin to truly live. You become like that bird, free from the cages of your own mind. The elder monk showed us that our final act can be a gift to those we leave behind, a message of hope and eternal laughter. His laughter was a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, proving that the divine is found in the simplest of human emotions. Every flower that blooms and every star that shines is part of the same cosmic joke, a beautiful display of temporary and miraculous existence. We are the gardeners of our own joy. We must plant the seeds of laughter daily, nurturing them with kindness and a sense of wonder. The story of the three laughing monks is a timeless reminder that our perspective is the only thing we truly control in this life. May we all find the strength to hide a few fireworks in our own hearts, ready to explode with joy when the world expects us to cry. The spirit of the monk lives on, not just in old stories, but in every person who chooses to smile despite their difficult circumstances. In our fast-paced modern world, we need the wisdom of the laughing monks more than ever to keep us grounded and sane. We are constantly distracted by the noise of progress, yet the most important thing is still the quiet joy of being present here. Look at yourself with kindness. Recognize that you are a unique expression of the universe, a brief and beautiful flash of light in time. Share your laughter. It is the most valuable thing you can give to another person, a gift that costs nothing but changes everything completely. We are all made of stardust, and to the stars we shall eventually return. Why not enjoy the journey while we are still here? The universe is a vast and mysterious stage, and you are both the actor and the audience in this incredible play of cosmic proportions. Live joyfully. Do not wait for the perfect conditions to be happy, for life is inherently imperfect, and that is where its beauty lies. Leave brightly. Make sure that when you go, you leave behind a trail of light and a story that makes others want to smile. Let the bell of your soul ring loud and clear. Let it resonate with the frequency of peace, love, and most importantly, exuberant laughter. We are all connected through this simple act. Laughter is the universal language that transcends all borders, all religions, and all points of time. Thank you for listening to the tale of the monk who bet with death and won by turning his final moment into a masterpiece. May his story inspire you to find your own fireworks and to live every day as if it were a beautiful, exploding celebration of light. Be the light, be the laughter, and be the firework in someone else's grey sky. Until we meet again, stay joyful.